Welcome back, grade 12s. We're going to now talk about writing our own functions. So far we've been writing procedures, and that's easy as you could see, but now writing functions is slightly different. Writing your own functions, here's the syntax of a function without parameters. So you have the function, the word function, and whatever name you want to have, and then colon, got to have a colon, and then the actual data type that function has. So functions have data types, and when you declare a function you must put colon and the data type. So here's an example, and then inside the function that you write, the code that you write, after you've done all your work, then you've got to say result equals whatever that answer is for the function. So if a function is an integer, result equals, you must have an integer over here. So we would use a variable of the same type, inside the function, and then calculate that variable, build it up, and then say result equals whatever that variable is, but that variable here must be of the same data type that the function is declared as. So this is a function without parameters, so it's not so difficult, but a function with parameters is the same as a procedure with parameters, where you put variables inside brackets after the function name, but you still have to have a colon and the data type of that function. So you must remember that these parameters here will act as local variables of your function, so you'll use them inside your statements of the function, and then you'll have another type that would be of the same type, a variable that you can declare here of the same type as the function itself. Okay, so if that is a string function, in other words, there will be a string written there, then result equals a string data type. If it's a string function, if it's an integer function there, then result equals an integer data type. Or real, then you must make result equals to whatever variable is a real data type. And Boolean, same as Boolean. You can have Boolean functions, so your data type will be Boolean there, or you'll have a real there, or you'll have integer there, or you'll have string there. So remember that. Now we're going to jump in with an activity 6.5. We're going to open the Vowels program, and we'll do that program. So they say write a function called count vowels that receives a word and returns the number of vowels. So what kind of data do you think it must return? The number of vowels will be an integer, but it's going to receive a word and count how many vowels there are and return an integer. So we'll do that. It's a function called count vowels. So we write the word function, count vowels, or what is it called? Count vowels, yes. And it's going to receive a word, S word, I'll make up that variable, string, got to put in brackets the data type as well, okay, and then colon, integer, because it's going to count the number of vowels and return an integer. So take note, we have our parameter, which is a string, and it's going to return an integer data type. So we highlight that, Control-Shift-C, and there you see the headers there. So we take this word and count how many vowels there are, and we'll go through each character of that word with a for loop. So we need a for loop counter. Okay, so we can say for k equals 1 to the length of 1 to length of what? S word. And where does S word come from? From this parameter list. Yeah, so you see what you got there, length of S word. So we're using this S word here just like it was a local variable inside our function, and then we do a begin and end. Now we've got to have a counter to count how many words. All right, so I'm going to say count, how many vowels. And of course, because it's a local variable, we're going to set our count equal to 0, and then we're going to ask the question, if S word character number k in the set of A E I O U. But of course I've got capital letters here in my set, A, E, I, O, U. They're all capitals. The set is the square brackets. So if those are capitals, I better upcase each character. Now you don't use uppercase, you use upcase. If upcase character number K, because S word character number K is one character, and if it is in that set, then we will increment our count. Okay, so well, that's how you count the number of vowels in a word. But this function is not finished yet, because we have to say result equals. What is the result going to be? Must be the same data type as that function is declared as. So we're going to say result equals our count. That thing that we just calculated there. See? Okay, next one. Write a function remove vowels that receives a word and returns the word without the vowels. Yeah, it's going to receive a word just like the previous one, the string, but this time it must return a word that doesn't have vowels in it. So it's going to be a string function. So we go up here, write another header function, remove vowels, which will receive a word. I'll just call it S-line string, but it's going to return a string data type. So you've got to say colon string at the end. So that's the main difference between functions and procedures, and that's all you need to know. Control-Shift-C. So we're going to work with S-line that's coming into this function, remove vowels. We are going to actually build a new string without vowels. So we'll need a for loop to go through each character. We also need another string. Okay. We've got to make another string variable, because that's going to be our our new string. We're going to use S-line that comes in here and figure out if it's a vowel, and if it isn't, we'll add it to our new string. For K equals 1, 2, length of what? S-line. The string coming in, we're testing it, and when we see that it's not a vowel, then we will add it to S-new. S-new is going to be built up with a whole lot of characters that are not vowels inside this for loop, begin and end. We're going to ask the question, if S-line, character number K. Now, of course, we better go and upcase when we test. Now, we wanted to see if it's not in that set, but you don't just say not in. I'm going to copy and paste this because it helps. I don't have to paste, I don't have to retype it, but we're going to do the opposite of in. We're going to do not in. And in order to see if the character is not in that string, in that set, we have to put this whole thing in brackets, and we write the word not in front. Okay, if not upcase character word inside there, then we will say S-new equals S-new plus S-line, the string coming in here, S-line square brackets K. So S-line is now S-new is going to be built up. If it's not in the set, the characters are going to be added to S-new, not S-lines. We're not building S-line, no, we're just checking. Why did I use S-word here? Because S-word doesn't occur anywhere here. We don't have S-word in this function remove vowels. So I better change it to S-line. S-line character number K. That string there. We're testing that one to see if it's not in the set of vowels. Then we will add a character from S-line to S-new. And S-new is now built up, so our result will be equal to S-new. S-new is going to be sent off, and it'll be called remove vowels. Yep, that's what it's going to be. If remove vowels is now going to be the value of S new, whatever S new is. The same with this one. Count vowels is now going to hold the value whatever R count is. Now the trick is to use these things, write code for these functions, using them, write code for the process button, and we're going to go, each element of AR words contains a word. Right, okay, does it. And for each word, we're going to display the word, the number of vowels in the word, and the word with the vowels removed. And the display must be like here, and we're going to use the functions count vowels and remove vowels. So that's quite a tricky one. Let's go and see where our array words is. Right, do we have an array of words? There it is. We have a constant array. I'll just put it on another line so you can see. There it is. 10 words are there, already given to us. So all we have to do is go from one box to box number 1 to box number 10, and each time we're going to count the vowels and remove the vowels. Okay, so that'd be quite tricky, hey? In the process button, let's do that. First of all, we know we've got to go through each box of the array called ARR words. So we need a for loop to do that. When you go through an array, use a for loop to go through every single box. So we say for k equals 1 to 10. We know we're going to do that. So we're going to go and check each word. We also have to display the word, you know. So for the first box, say we're going to display the word suddenly. Alright, now there's no headings anywhere here, so I'm not going to write the headings now. I'm going to display the word already. I'll display it, yeah. Oops, no. It's going to be more tricky than that, because we've got to build a line of the word and then the number of vowels and the vowels removed. So we're going to build a line and then display it. So that's the tricky part. So we say S line equals ARR words box number k plus, let's use a hash 9 plus, now we are going to count the words, count the vowels. So we call count vowels function count vowels, but we're going to display that integer that comes up there. We don't have to worry about how it's done. We're just going to use it, but we know when we use it, we've got to have a string in front of it, and the string is going to be our array box number. But when we use count vowels and the string that's inside it, you must remember that it's an integer function, so we've got to go and say int to string open brackets. Let me just put this on another line so you can see. Open brackets, and then we can call count vowels. That's our function, and the function receives the string, which is going to be box number 1 of AR words, and then box number 2, and so on. And we are building the string inside our for loop from 1 to 10, because we're going through each word in that array. The next thing is that we have to go and join the string to the removed vowels function. So we're going to go and call removed vowels open brackets, and inside there we will put our string AR words box number k. So removed vowels has a string coming into it and returns a string, so we can safely bet that we do not have to convert this removed vowels to a string. We have to do count vowels and remove and convert that to a string, but not removed vowels, because the removed vowels function returns a string. So you can see we calling our functions count vowels and removed vowels, we're calling it on the right hand side of our assignment statement. Okay, take note of that. I mean, no, I've moved it onto a new line so that you could see, but remember that we are calling it in on the right hand side of an assignment statement. That's how you use functions. You either use them by calling them on the right hand side of assignment statement or in a rich edit.lines.add statement. But I've built a line here because it's easier to do that way. Otherwise we would have put it straight into our rich edit, already show .lines.add s-line. I could have just put all of this into that over here. Instead of s-line, I could have just put all of that in. You know what I mean? And that would be using the functions inside the rich edit.lines.add. But just to make it more understandable, I built a string and then put it into the rich edit.lines.add statement. Now this is going through every single box of the array called ARR words. Can you see? That is a string. That is a string. That is a string. ARR words box number K is a string. We're sending that string to count vowels. Then we're sending it to removed vowels. Remove vowels, not removed. Remove vowels. These two functions that we wrote. Now we're going to put some headings in because seriously we have to already show dot paragraph, but first I'm going to do the tab stops of dot tab count. There's only one tab, oh no, there's two, and then we're going to set the tab stops. Starting at tab number 0, which will be the first tab after that word. I suppose 100 will do. I don't even know. Maybe that's too much, but. And then after the number, maybe we'll go to tab number 150. Just remember, it's like a Word document. You're setting like the tabs. And now I'm going to do the headings, and we'll see how it looks. And we have the headings like they want us to. Word, number of vowels and vowels removed. Word plus #9 plus number of vowels plus #9 plus word vowels removed. Vowels removed. And there, and then I'm going to, just to be fancy, I'll go and draw a line. Don't know how long it's going to be, but we'll just take a guess on that one and run the program and process. Okay, so the word was a bit long and we've got too many spaces there, so I'll change that to 80 and 120 and just shorten this a bit. Process. Right, that 80 is still too large, eh? 70, 100. I know I'm wasting time here now, but so that's even worse. But anyway, you get the idea. You can fix your program as you see fit. Do it by yourself without looking.